they're going to come out and be on the road. Well, they came out and showed us. They came out with discipline. They came out with courage, and they finished the game. They finished the game. Ty was amazing. He was Ty. The defense was definitely a caveat. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this team is going. I'm excited to see what they're going to do at home versus Vanderbilt. But it's sticking to the Georgia game. I like how they came out and executed, and I like what they showed us.
Andre?
Oh yeah, I was most definitely impressed with the team as a whole. I think we did some really good things in special teams, and on the opposite side of the ball, I like to see us do better in the run game for sure. But to be in an adverse situation in a toxic environment for those guys to go out there and thrive, they have those expectations to go out there and do well. I think they did an awesome job.
Rodney, one thing that's clear in the 2 years that Kalen DeBoer's been at Alabama, give Georgia credit. At halftime, Kirby said they didn't make any adjustments. They just covered better. And that might have something to do with it. But Alabama's been able to jump on them. And it seems to me that Georgia's defense has been on its heels. And those 24 points in the first half, obviously crucial because Alabama didn't score again. But getting out on top of this team 2 years in a row has allowed Alabama to win the game because, quite frankly, in the second half, they've been outscored both years.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at this game specifically, and we know what happened last year, but I think when you look at this game, Alabama came out really aggressive, throwing it down the field right away. Ryan drops the ball, has a touchdown, but still, Alabama could. The key right then was, okay, you just missed a touchdown throw, okay, because you dropped the ball. How are you going to respond to that? It's adversity. And Alabama responded really well. Ty responded really, really well. One of the questions I had, okay, Ty, you performed extremely well against ULM. You performed extremely well against Wisconsin, but now it's a different animal. How are you going to perform on this stage in this environment? And listen, I thought he had the composure and all of the things that you look for. He threw the ball really, really well, got Alabama off to a great start, and, he carried them. And defensively, let's just be honest. I mean, they got gashed on the run. They gave up the edge several times. It's really disappointing. 227 yards rushing Georgia had.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
But now I will say this. This is in the fourth quarter, the defense stood up. Somehow, some way, they looked like they were reeling, but they found themselves. They came up with a big stop. They tackled Cash Jones. 13 something left in the game.
Yeah.
They're 4th and 1. Great play by LT Overton. Then with 3:19 left in the game, they force a punt, and Alabama runs the clock out. That's what's amazing right there. It's like Ty Simpson said, complementary football.
Absolutely. That's what you saw. That's what you saw. And to piggyback off what you're saying, Rodney, we didn't expect that. We didn't expect these guys to come out and close the game out like they did. And to piggyback off what you were saying, Gary, I feel like Kirby Smart has that little brother syndrome. And when I say that, I mean, he know he can run on Alabama. He know he can pass on Alabama. I felt like towards the end of the game, he gave our defense confidence that we could play the run better than what we were playing it, and we did. I think that if had Georgia got away from the run and went to the pass and kind of gave us unbalanced at the end of the game, it kind of would have kind of kept us unbalanced. But again, they gave us time to get our confidence up on stopping that run because, like you were saying, Rodney, the whole game it looked horrible in the run game. It really did. The outside was wide open. It felt like they could pick a hole whenever they wanted to. I think Georgia had over 100 some yards rushing. So I mean, honestly, they could run the ball, but again, that knowing that you can pass it, it keeps the defense on his heels. And if you know a team is going to try to keep running at you, you're going to eventually buckle down as a man and say, you know what, they're not going to run the ball on me. And that's what we did. We buckled down at the end of the game. Tim Keenan, his presence was amazing throughout the whole game, and we closed it out.
Andre, on the other side of the ball, and I want to get your expertise because I'm a novice. Next time I play offensive line will be the first time. Well, actually, in sixth grade, I did play offensive line. They stuck me on the offensive line in fifth and sixth grade. I don't know why. I was a skill position player. But anyway, neither here nor there. I thought it was Alabama's best game from an offensive line standpoint. They ran it enough. I'm not saying they ran it great. I'm not saying they blew open big holes, but they ran it well enough to keep Georgia off balance. And I thought in the pass protection game, Ty had time to stand back there, survey the field, go through his reads. I thought the offensive line for Alabama, and they played 8 guys. I want you to talk about that too. We always hear, it's like a glove. You're only going to play 5 guys. They rotated 8 guys in and out on that offensive line. What did you think of the offensive line's performance?
I think they did some really good things in pass protection and keeping ties standing up right. Even with blitz pickup guys knowing their assignment, being able to execute it at a high level to give, like I said, Ty awesome time a lot of time so he can get back there and make the right decision and throw the ball down the field. He was out there like playing pitch and catch. Even if we had a free runner on him, he was still making good decisions because he had time with the offensive line being able to do what they need to do, knowing his responsibility. When a free runner may be running, may be his guy that he's responsible for. And the offensive line, they did a tremendous job. I think in the run game, they did enough, to keep a safety down in the box, running a little 3D, cover 3. I saw a lot of that. I think that these guys will just continue to thrive, mesh. I mean, not Jaden, but Caden Proctor even got a pass thrown to him. So, I mean, the offense is just thriving at that point in time. I think the offense is going to extremely get better and better as the week goes on. I think this week against Vanderbilt is going to be really exciting to see how these guys come out and play against a tough opponent.
Do you like that they're rotating guys in and out? I mean, they played 8 guys. They're consistently playing 7 on the offensive line. And it seems to me, most cases you hear offensive line coaches don't want to mix guys in and out. It throws off the rhythm. But I don't know. You play that many guys and you can count on all of them. Guys stay fresh. They stay energetic. I like what I'm seeing from the rotation. What about you?
I don't mind the rotation. Like you said, Gary, like to keep the O-line fresh in the fourth quarter. You want your best groups to be at their best moment in the fourth quarter. I think these guys were able to come in the fourth throughout the game, give these guys a breather get the starters a breather throughout the game. And for those guys to come in the fourth quarter and dominate their way they did, I think it was just a whole thing, a circuit of those guys working together as a unit with those 8 different guys in rotation.
All right, if you want to join us on the program, the number is 205-339-4953. We got a lot of good calls last week. 205-339-4953. If you call in, Bob will take the phone calls and we'll get you on the show. All right, Andre mentioned it, Wallace. I want all 3 of you to comment on the most talked about play from the game, and that was Caden Proctor. Proctor's 6'7", 359 pounds. He's down to 359 from well over that, and that was part of the reason they said they put him into the game plan was to reward him for getting his weight down under 360. Andre, you know something about that. You got your hands on the ball when you were at Alabama. I mean, that's an offensive lineman's dream. And listen, he made guys were scared. I was scared he was going to fumble the ball, but he didn't. What about that play?
I think it was a very exciting play. As offensive line, we don't get any glory. We're usually the ones getting fussed at whenever the camera's on us. But for Caden to have the opportunity to go out there and able to execute at a high level for his team, for Coach DeBoer to have the trust in him to be able to throw him the ball, and just even his dedication to lose the weight to get down the way he's able to get rewarded for that opportunity. And I think that he did a great job. I wish he would have scored. That would have been icing on the cake. But just to see him out there, I think Georgia defenders were making business decisions as opposed to whether they wanted to tackle him or not. But I think all in all, it was an exciting play. I mean, like
I think we lost Dre.
Yeah, yeah, we did lose Dre. All right, Dre, they came back.
There he is.
Yeah, but I just think it was an awesome play. It was a life changer, life moment for Caden for sure.
Think we might see him in the backfield now at some point?
Maybe so. Get your best run block out there in space and let him do what he do.
Wallace and Andre, I was telling Gary during the game was 4th and 1, quarterback sneak. Put Proctor behind Ty and do the tush push.
I don't know if you want to do that. You don't want your quarterback to get sandwiched too, man.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, but look how effective now the Eagles they ran a play off the tush push formation against Tampa Bay where everybody was inside, so they just pitched it to Barkley and he walked in. Wallace, why are more teams not trying to do the tush push? I mean, it's almost 100% success rate for the Eagles.
Because honestly, I think it's because they want the play removed. I think that if more people jump on it, they're going to the longer to stay in the game. Right. I think it's a lazy play. It's a bit.
Sound like a defensive player.
Hey. I'm speaking from my point of view. But yeah, I feel like it's a lazy play. I feel like the more teams pick up on it, the longer it'll stay around. So hopefully they'll ban it next year.
Nah. You gotta figure out how to stop it. You gotta figure it out.
That's what I'm thinking. I just know more people don't try to run it. But Ronnie, you saw the play with Proctor, and obviously it's something they had put in for this game. But still, you have to know how good an athlete he is. First of all, they ruled that it was a backwards pass. It was a run. So if he drops the ball there, it's a free ball. And then I was scared to death that he was going to fumble it, and it started bobbling there at the end. But he looked pretty comfortable.
He was going for the pylon.
Yeah, he looked pretty comfortable doing that.
Pylon. I think it might have been the longest run, Alabama's longest.
Yeah, it might have been the longest run of the game.
It was 11-yard run. But yeah, no, I tell you, I thought the one of the obviously it's a great call at the end of the game when it was 3rd and 5. The play they ran, how they executed it with Ty, made the fake, and misdirection there at the end. What'd you guys think about that call? I mean, it was wide open. Just had to dump it off to Jam, and then the game's over. I mean, it's I thought it was a fantastic call.
I just think it's something that we probably was setting up all day, looking at that backside linebacker to see if he's being responsible to his keys, whether he's staying with the running back or the tight end in his responsibility. And we must have saw it early in the game, and come clutch time, you don't think plays, you think players. You put the ball in your best players at those point in time, and you're able to execute at a high level to seal the game for us, for sure.
Yeah, I think so too, Dre. I think it was something that they saw throughout the game, and they exploited it. And it was took a lot of confidence, and a lot of again encouraging his players to make that kind of call in that type of moment. So yeah, hats off to the coaches and the team for executing.
All right, let's talk about where we're headed, guys. And Wallace, I'll start with you. We've already said college football is like the NFL now. It's week to week. You can't worry about who's 3 weeks down the road. You can't worry about the last game. There seems to be no guarantee just because you played well one Saturday that you're going to have a good matchup and play well the next Saturday. This game against Vanderbilt, let's put it into perspective. Vanderbilt is going to be here, and it's college game day. I mean, that's all we need to know about how college football has changed. I mean, 2 years ago, you would have laughed if somebody had said, yeah Vanderbilt's going to come to Tuscaloosa in 2025 and be on college game day. But you see why.
Within the last 20 years, Gary, you could have said that and people would have laughed.
Yeah.
But the landscape that the NIL has provided throughout the, not just the SEC, throughout college football, and it's showing. Now, I mean, a couple of years ago, you kind of thought, okay, it's only going to give the big dogs an advantage, more of an advantage. But now that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing that it's an even playing field at this point. The SEC is up for grabs at this point.
Let me follow up on you, Wallace, with that. And you add in what happened last year. Okay, last year, I get it a little bip. Alabama just beat Georgia. You didn't know Vanderbilt at the time was going to be what they became. They lost to Georgia State, for goodness sakes. Didn't know really that Diego Pavia was going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Knew he'd won at New Mexico State, knew he'd beaten Auburn. But you went up there and you weren't ready to go. Okay, I get it. It happens. No excuses now, right? I mean, they're 5-0. They're scoring 70 points on people. Diego Pavia talked trash before the game, during the game, and after the game last year. They want a piece of you. They think they can do it again. You have to treat this game like it's Georgia or Tennessee or LSU. There's no reason not to be ready to play this game, right?
Well, even in the past, I mean, Dre, you can contest to this because you guys got a lot better after I left. But every SEC game was like a heavyweight matchup. Every even the Mississippi State back then. I mean, no matter who you were, you SEC, we felt like there's enough talent on each side of the ball for anybody to win that game. So, I mean, I'm sure that hasn't changed. What would you say, Dre?
I would most definitely say that, like we were saying, the landscape of college football today is like there are a lot of opportunities for good players to go to smaller schools and thrive and be a big fish in a small pond. But just happened to be Vanderbilt, who's doing a great job of recruiting, bringing guys in that will come in and go fight for their program and their way, how they want football to be played. But I just think Alabama just has to stick to their guns, play their best football, name his faceless opponents. So make sure those guys go out there and hit the guys hard as they can, fly around, make plays, and dominate every single opponent, every single play.
I like it.
Rodney, Vanderbilt, they're for real.
Yeah.
And they will not come in here with the thought process that they want to just be competitive and play a good game. They're coming in here to win the game.
Well, I think their confidence comes from the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about how cocky he was, the talk and all of that. I mean, he's their version of Johnny Manziel. I mean, he may not be Johnny Manziel exactly, but he kind of plays like him. He's got a lot of confidence. He was confident last year in that game. And here's the thing to me. When you're playing a guy like him, you can't fall behind early the way they did because, Vanderbilt scored 40 points. Of course, they had a pick six, missed extra point. But when you watch Vanderbilt, the way they can score offensively, you better not fall behind because you may not have enough possessions. That's what happened last year with Alabama. Vanderbilt had 42 minutes of possession time.
Yeah, dominated. All right, we got to get to a break, and I want to hear from some of our great sponsors. This is Inside the Trenches, and we're glad you're with us tonight. 205-339-4953 is the number. If you want to give us a call, go ahead and call in and talk with Wallace and Andre and Rodney about this big game coming up against the Vanderbilt Commodores. College game day is in town. We'll also ask, who do you think should be the guest picker? Think about that. We'll be back after this.
Hell yeah.
Labor Day has come and gone, but the best beach days are ahead of you on the Alabama Gulf Coast now through Thanksgiving. No one wants to work on vacation, so let iBeach Service do it for you. They'll set up your chairs, umbrellas, and canopies every morning and take them down every evening so you can soak up the calm, the sun, and the peace you deserve. For more information, you can call us at 251-504-0097 or visit us online at ibeachservice.com.
The Law Tigers is once again giving away a custom-built Crimson Tide motorcycle to one lucky fan. This one-of-a-kind bike is a tribute to your favorite team and was built by Area 51 Customs. Go to crimsontidebike.com now for your chance to win.
The fall is a great time to come have a ball at the beach. This is Hunter Harrelson, owner of Beach Ball Properties, letting you know that we have dozens of great condos and houses waiting for you to come down and take advantage of reduced rates, less traffic, no waiting at restaurants, and the beautiful fall weather here in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. Check us out at beachballproperties.com, on Facebook, or call us at 251-968-8896. If you have an investment property, I would love the opportunity to discuss how we can be the best owner-friendly deal on the coast. Come have a ball at the beach.
How would you like to win a tailgate package from Fusakli's? Listen to the game with Ryan Fowler for your chance to win a Fusakli's tailgate pack with a tray of 50 fingers, half pan of crinkle-cut fries, 2 6-packs of Texas toast, 2 pints of house-made coleslaw, a gallon of fresh squeezed lemonade, and 2 pints of house-made Fusakli sauce. Listen to the game with Ryan Fowler every day from 2 until 6 for how to win a tailgate package for football season from Fusakli's and Tide 100.9.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
The 54th Annual Kintuck Festival of the Arts is coming Saturday, October 11th and Sunday, October 12th at Snow Hinton Park in Tuscaloosa. This year's event is bigger and better. Over 270 artists featuring folk, traditional, and contemporary art. Live music on our main stage, food trucks, and local craft beer. Kintuck Festival tickets are on sale now, including special VIP tickets. Tickets can be purchased at kintuck.org. Bring the whole family to the 54th Annual Kintuck Festival, October 11th and 12th.
Follow the Crimson Tide on their journey to another national championship. Touchdown, Alabama! On your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Football is back. Join former Alabama standouts Wallace Gilberry and Andre Smith alongside Tider insiders Rodney Orr and Gary Harris every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Central as Wallace and Andre take you inside their time in the Crimson and White and in the NFL. Come along as they give you an inside look into the Crimson Tide and more. Catch us Monday from 7 to 8 Central on Tide100.9.com and TiderInsider.com and all your social media platforms for Inside the Trenches.
Yeah, I'm from Big Bama. You're not the little one. We got smoke for anybody that wants some. Yeah, we don't do no yapping and we don't do no capping. We from the state where
all right, welcome back to Inside the Trenches. Our 1-hour weekly podcast with 2 former Bama and NFL greats, Wallace Gilberry, Andre Smith, also Rodney Orr from TiderInsider.com, and I'm simply your host, Gary Harris. We're talking Bama football, and we got a phone call, Bob. Who we got? All right, let's go to Jalen. And Jalen, is Wallace and Andre. This is a kid that say kid. He's a young man. He's no longer a kid. He interned for me like you did, Wallace, at the TV station. Now he's a photojournalist and covered the game on Saturday night over in Athens. Hey, Jalen, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Gary? Appreciate the call. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Roll Tide.
Hey, how are you? Roll Tide.
Thanks for calling in.
Hey, what was your experience like over there between the hedges, man?
Being a guy that grew up in Meadow, Georgia, which is about an hour away from Savannah, about 3-4 hours away from Athens, growing up in that area, growing up in that state, it's like an automatic bucket list to finding a way somehow to be in Sanford Stadium. And growing up, I grew up Georgia Southern, and I grew up Alabama. I never wanted to go to Athens. I never wanted to go to University of Georgia at all. And to be on that stadium, the first time I ever stepped foot in Athens, the first time I ever stepped foot in that stadium, it was not much magical, but it was just an experience. It's like something that I never would have dreamed that I would be here. And the way the game went was possibly even better than what I could have even dreamed of as well. To cover Alabama, to cover the Georgia-Alabama game, it was just absolutely magical. Like I can literally, it felt like I felt every single great moment that has ever stepped foot on that field. Just looking at the stands, the energy, just to feel that type of energy, like on that field. That's the best way I can explain it or describe it.
Well, that goes to show you guys got to play in these type of games, how much it means to somebody that grew up in that state, that went to school at Alabama, to go back over there and be on the sidelines and experience a win, Wallace.
I want to know, excuse me, I want to know how those family holidays are. I mean, you have to be the only Roll Tide in the house, right? Did we lose him?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah,
I'm still here.
Wallace was asking you what are the holidays like with all those Georgia people that you grew up with?
Man, okay. So growing up in Metter, it's always fun because every time Bama, and I do mean every time Bama beats Georgia, I always go home with that type of swagger, with that type of energy. Like I get the smile in my family's face saying, Hey family, how you doing? Deep down I'm saying, y'all know we just whooped y'all, right? Y'all know y'all sick of us, right? Roll Tide.
I like it. I like it. Well, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it, man. Roll Tide out there, man.
Yeah, thank you, Jalen. That's good. Yeah, good insight. He went over there and got to cover that game. And hey, the flip side was he didn't talk about what it would have been like if Alabama had lost, but he didn't have to worry about that now. And I'll tell you something else. Having been over there before, it makes you appreciate Tuscaloosa. Getting out of that stadium after a game is brutal. It's 2 hours. Now, you guys didn't experience. Well, first of all, yeah, Andre played over there. You got out with the team, but for people that are just trying to get out of there, it's a nightmare, man. It is gridlock. So, but all's well that ends well. Alabama gets that win.
It was a little bit different flying out of there. We actually got on smaller planes because our jet couldn't land in Athens. So we actually got on smaller planes flying out of Athens. So that was pretty different, different experience. The teams being split up instead of being everybody. We had like 2 or 3 different smaller jets. We all made our way back to Tuscaloosa. So I agree with you, Gary. It is a little bit different than getting out of Athens for sure.
All right. And we said this last week. This is a good topic. Results matter. I mean, I know as your player, it's a process and you got to prepare and all that, but the outcome of this game has changed everything. If Alabama loses that game 24-21 or Georgia scores a late touchdown to win it 28-24, the mood for this show, the mood in this town, the mood on this campus is so completely different. By winning that game, getting to 3-1 and 1-0 in the SEC, I mean, let's be honest, everybody's back on the bandwagon, right, Dre? I mean, it's all full speed ahead. Imagine what it would have been like if they had lost that game. It'd be so different. People be talking about firing Kalen DeBoer and everything else. So how huge was that win just for this team and this coaching staff right now?
It's amazing what winning does. It cures all. That's what problems it does. We went through a little adversity early on in the season. Everybody was fired DeBoer. He's not saving. He's washed. He's not going to do that well. And look, the locker room has flipped. The guys are buying in. Just to see the transition from where we were to where we are now. I think we're still ascending. I don't think we're quite where we want to be at, which you really don't want to be maxing out your players right now. You still want to be peaking at the right time. And if we just continue to get the run game hammered down, continue to keep tight standing up right, receivers making plays, and then the defense continue to step up and stop the run, I think we were peaking at the right time at the end of the season going into the playoffs.
Rodney?
No, look,
Like
I think we talked about after the Florida State game that, I mean, obviously it was about as bad as I can remember after a game.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was. But, you know, we said they would have a chance to take a baby step against ULM. Then, you know, you win that game, obviously it doesn't prove a lot, but it does kind of get you back in the right frame of mind. You go, you play Wisconsin, you play a really good game. You win that game. That's another step. You have a week off. You can fine tune some things, get some guys healthy. And I know as far-fetched as it seemed that day when they lost to Florida State, that Alabama could beat Georgia, you would have that chance. And it became a reality Saturday night. So now, you know, where Alabama is, I think probably at 3-1 is where most people thought they would be after the month of September. Most people
regardless.
Most people probably figured, hey, you know, they'll win the first three and then they'll lose in Athens. Well, maybe it turned out for the better because, I mean, it kind of it jolted the team. And Andre used the word ascending. And I think that's true. I think you're starting to feel Alabama, you know, now they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. So maybe that loss to Florida State really kind of was a positive in a way.
Galvanizing moment for sure.
Exactly. So I think they are ascending. I think this team is ascending, and I think this is a real good challenge for them now, Vanderbilt, coming off that game. So we're going to find out even more about this Alabama team.
Absolutely. And you guys said it was big for the locker room and for the podcast, but honestly, guys, that win was big for the state of Alabama. And I'm going to tell you just how big it was. I had a closet Auburn fan DM me and tell me roll tide.
Wow.
So you got, and I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not gonna put him in a pickle. But whenever you got those guys, you know, crossing over and respecting, you know, that kind of performance, you know, you're trending in the right direction.
Now the challenge of moving on, as we've talked about it a little bit, but guys, even if it is week to week, fans are looking at the big picture. Based on what you've seen from this team, Wallace, is this a team that has the potential to challenge for the SEC championship and a national championship this year? Am I getting too far ahead of myself saying that, or do you feel like that this is a team that could do this potentially?
Again, like I said earlier, Gary, I feel like the SEC is wide open. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on Alabama. I feel like Ty Simpson's playing amazing ball right now. I would like to see a lot more from Ryan Williams, and not even just Ryan Williams, just certain guys on the offense that we expected to have these breakout seasons this year. So a lot of those guys haven't woke up yet, which is a great thing for me. So that tells me that there's still room for improvement on that side of the ball. And then on the defensive side of the ball, again, you want to see guys stopping that outside run, being more sound in the inside run. And once we handle those couple things right there, guys, I mean, this is a dangerous team.
Wallace, how worried are you about injuries? And of course, James Smith, which I thought that was bogus to eject him on that play. But you got no James Smith in the first half. You got no Quay Russaw, who's out for probably most of the regular season. Jamarian Latham's not coming back at all after that neck injury. You're going to be, at least in this game, working at a lack of depth in the first half. Now, you get Smith back in the third quarter, but how concerned are you about the defensive line and the injuries?
You know, prior to Tim Keenan being out, you know, I was kind of concerned because, you know, he's a big presence on our defense. But I like the next man up mentality. I like how the next man came up and handled his business, Overton and those guys. So I'm gonna fall back on that, Rodney and Gary and Dre. I think it's gonna be next man up. I think we have enough stars behind our stars that want to get out and contribute. So I'm gonna leave on those guys to come in and not miss the beat.
Dre, against this quarterback, I mean, again, I know, you know, Johnny Manziel was a unique player. There's no doubt about it in college. I don't care what he didn't accomplish in the NFL. But this guy's a little bit like that. I mean, you not only do you have to pressure him, but you got to have lane integrity. If you get your hands on him, you've got to somehow get him on the ground, because if he extends a play either with his legs or his arm, he's going to hurt you. How important it is not only to pressure this guy, but if you do pressure him, don't allow him to step up and have running lanes. Everybody's got to be I know somewhat eyes on the quarterback in this situation with this guy.
Most definitely, I think we could come in with a great game plan. I hope we run a lot of stunts on third down passing situation just to give them different looks instead of guys that stand in their rush lanes. You know, the most important thing is to keep an eye on the quarterback, never rush past the depth of the quarterback. I think the guys are going to come up with a great game plan for Favier. I think he's going to do his thing, you know, for sure. He's a competitor at the end of the day. I think he's going to give us his best swing, his best, you know, punch, so to speak. And it's how we respond when we get hit in the mouth in an adverse situation. I'm sure they're going to try to put a lot of points up on us. You know, we do a lot of great things in Vanderbilt right now, being 5-0. And like you said earlier, and Rodney early on in the show, they putting up 70 points on teams. So they expect to come in and score. You know, what are we going to do when we get hit in the mouth in an adverse situation? Hopefully the guys come up, show up, do what they need to do. And to circle back what you were saying, Gary, about making it to the SEC championship. Do we really want to make it to the SEC championship? Or do we want to make it to the playoffs at the end?
Good point.
Day, you know, so
that's a fair point.
Whether, you know, so we go to the SEC championship, potential chance to lose to a hot Georgia team at that point in time. You know, then we have 2 losses. Then are we getting in, or just having this one loss, playing it out, and then just being on the outside looking in and having the opportunity to play in the playoffs for sure. So which one do we get? You know, just to see whoever shows up on Saturday for sure.
I like how you broke that down, Dre, but I want to go a step further with that. And in your career, you played, you know, in front of all type of quarterbacks, but being an offensive lineman, having a scrambling quarterback behind you that's not always on that spot. And you know what I mean by that spot? Because a defensive player, whether you run a game or not, we have a spot in our mind that the quarterback's going to be at. So from flip side of that, how do you feel blocking for a guy like that doesn't really have a spot? Because you got to get holding prisons once you get outside that pocket.
Yeah, we can, but he also can make us right when we mess up. So it's kind of give and take, you know. Having a guy that's dynamic behind you, you know, you can maybe give up a little pressure. He's able to step up, move around with his athletic ability, you know, pitch the ball down the field, make big plays, that type of way. So it's just a little give and take with both. You know, yeah, you want a guy who's always going to be at a certain spot, but you also want a guy who's dynamic enough to create plays on his own when time needs to be.
You guys ready to take a phone call?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's get Cowboy on. Hey, Cowboy.
Hey, Gary. Good to hear from you, Wallace and Andre. Andre, I've been wanting to call in and ask this question, if you don't mind. I was wondering, what was it like when you guys went from Bob Conley as offensive line coach to Joe Pendry? I know Joe Pendry was an NFL veteran, and he probably had some good technique he taught you from the difference in Bob Conley's style to Joe Pendry, and it probably helped you in the NFL get going, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Coach Pendry brought a little different dynamic to the game of football for me. You know, him being an OC in Kansas City, knowing what NFL players look like, knowing how to prepare for each game, you know, just giving me those nuances of the game of football, you know. With Coach Conley, I kind of relied on my athletic ability to go out there, but Coach Pendry was more technical. I want you to do it like this. He always preached, get your first 2 steps in the ground and run up the ball. That transcended my game to the next level once I learned how to do that. I mean, like I said, Coach Pendry did some great things teaching me both on and off the field, but most definitely like the hard work, the effort, even in walkthroughs, making sure you're taking the proper footwork to prepare yourself, because that's still a rep for that day, even though you can prepare for practice. But if you're always in the right place, taking proper footwork, hand placement, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win your rep. So I think Coach Pendry just taught me a lot, especially with double teaming. He's taught us against like double team block. One famous saying, Coach Pendry, is ass to ass breaking glass. So if you have 2 guys that are hip to hip pushing the defender off, you're going to knock them off the ball 600 pounds against 300 pounds. So I think Coach Pendry was a great, tremendous offensive line coach.
Cowboy, I get the feeling you don't think Bucket Step Bob was as good as Joe Pendry. Is that what you tried to tell us?
I would think so, but, you know, Andre would be the one that has firsthand experience on that. I did see where Bucket Step Bob, listen to this, is the offensive line coach, I think out here at East Texas A&M. It's about 70 miles east of Dallas. They're 1AA in Southland Conference.
That's about right for him. That's
Cowboy, this is Gilberry. I got a question. So the name Cowboy,
yes,
tell us a little bit about it. Where'd you get that name from?
Oh, well, I kind of, my family, we had a cattle farm in Thorsby, Alabama growing up. I'm originally from Birmingham, and I went to
What about
high
Jemison?
school with Jemison Thorsby, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I went to high school at Berry High School there in Birmingham, which is now Hoover. And Andre, they had some battles with Hoover, I think, when he was over at Huffman. If I'm correct. I think.
They used to tear our butts up. They used to tear our butts up. Yeah, I remember those battles.
Yeah. But Wallace, you had a great career at Alabama. I know you're one of those guys that was a late bloomer. What was the key to your success? Is being recognized in that All-Star game, and Joe Kynes or somebody, I can't remember if it was Joe Kynes or what, but saw something in you, and you just kept developing, and you were just like a diamond in the rough.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Now, when you left Alabama, you were on Kansas City's practice squad, and the Giants purchased you off their practice squad, right? Or signed you?
It was the other way around. I was on the New York Giants practice squad, and I got poached off by the Kansas City Chiefs. And I turned that into a 4-year career in Kansas City, and left Kansas City and turned it into another 6-year career in Cincinnati with Big Andre. God was good to me those times. Absolutely.
Now, when you were with the Giants, was Chris Canty there at that time? It's on ESPN radio now, or was he still with the Cowboys?
No, he was still over in Dallas. When I was with the Giants, you had Osa Umenyiora, Justin Tuck, Barry Cofield, Fred Robinson, Matthias Kimanuka, those guys. They just won the Super Bowl that year. Yep.
Yeah.
Learned a lot from all of them.
Umenyiora and Justin Tuck, did they say much about Alabama? Both were from
absolutely.
Was from Auburn.
Absolutely. Yeah. They both two Troy graduates. Osa Umenyiora, actually, his story is so funny. He came over here to be a doctor. His parents didn't even know he was playing football until the day he got drafted. And his mom didn't speak to him for almost 2 years because she didn't understand the dynamics of the NFL. And yeah, so it was crazy, man. So yeah, he snuck on the football team at Troy, weighing 300 pounds. I think he said he lost almost 120 pounds in one summer, and then turned into Osa Umenyiora. Absolutely.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now Justin Tuck, he was from over there at Rockford, Alabama, Coosa Central.
Alabama.
Went to Notre Dame, but I don't think Alabama recruited him.
He's to this day he's still pissed about that. I don't know who the recruiting coach was, who the D-line coach was. And I think that might have been Dennis Franchione's year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. But Franchione got there a little late, Wallace. I think Dubose, Cottrell, and those guys, they weren't recruiting Justin Tuck. They weren't recruiting Todd Bates. They weren't recruiting Freddie Roach.
That's crazy.
And I'll tell you this. When Franchione, he wasn't recruiting D'Amico Ryan.
I know you fixed that.
And nobody was recruiting Wallace Gilberry, and then look what happened.
Yeah.
One of the best defensive linemen at Alabama.
But Jeff, I don't blame Justin Tuck for being upset with that kind of size and athleticism. But that was one thing about Ronnie Cottrell, and I like Ronnie. I know Ronnie does too. But he wanted star ratings. That was his thing. He would overlook a guy. Yeah, he wanted the star ratings. He wanted the highly rated recruiting class.
I tell everybody, Gary. I tell everybody. Even when I got to the NFL in Cincinnati, I was around 5 to 6 stars my whole career. But you have to have someone to light the fire to those stars. You got to have someone that don't mind being not being the star. You have to have that guy. And you get to the NFL, and Dre can contest to this. It's more 3 or 4 star than 2-star guys in the NFL than there are 5 and 6 stars. The NFL roster, it just is what it is. Like those are the guys that last the longest.
Hey, Andre, I got to tell this story. Okay, we talked about Cowboy brought up Bob Conley.
Mm-hmm.
When it was kind of in that limbo period when we thought Shula was going to get fired. I went over to Bryant Hall, was hanging out there because there was some talk about a team meeting, and I caught Bob Conley walking out the side door of Bryant Hall. He and I had a good relationship. I would talk to him constantly about his offensive lineman. He would fill me in. He would give me little details and all of those things. I thought we had a really great relationship. So I called out to Bob Conley. I said, "Hey, Coach, he was slipping out a side door. He didn't want any of the media to see him. And he was slipping out a side door. And I said, hey, coach. He saw me. And I said, man, I looked at his face and I said, this guy does not want to talk to anybody. So I waited a second. I said, hey, coach, listen, can I talk to you for a minute? He says, yeah, come on. So I said, you know, I didn't want to ask him, hey, are y'all getting fired? So I just said, hey, what's going on? And he says, you know, we started talking about it for a minute, but I'll never forget what he said, Andre. He was getting in his car, getting ready to leave, and he said, hey, do me a favor, would you? He said, you know, I gave you a lot of information while I was here. He said, when they bring the Messiah in here, and he's winning games with my players, with Andre Smith and those guys, I want you to make sure and tell the Alabama fans that offensive line, Antoine Caldwell, they're all my guys. They're all my guys. They're Bob Conley's guys. So he was right. They did find the Messiah, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, the nail on the head with that one. Yeah. Like I said, Coach Conley did a great job in preparing me for my freshman year. I remember going back to my Vanderbilt year. My favorite first SEC game happened to be against Vanderbilt, and we were playing. It was a tough game. It was a tough opponent. The guy was going to shake the bull. He was headbutting me. I had never had that experience that while playing college football. Wallace was more of a power guy, but this guy had a little bit more shake to him, but then he'd go to power. So I came over to the sideline to Coach Conley. I'm like, man, Coach, he's doing some shape and he's headbutting me. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like, I'm kind of flabbergasted trying to figure out what's going on. He's like, Andre, put your fucking hands on him. Shoot your hands. You know, so that's what I had to do for sure.
Okay. All right. Hey, I got something for you guys. You want to react to this? We're talking about Johnny Manziel and Diego Pavia. Manziel says he is going to be at the game on Saturday on the Vanderbilt sideline wearing a Diego Pavia jersey. He told Nightcap of Vanderbilt, guess what? I'm going to Tuscaloosa, Alabama on Saturday. I'm on the Vandy sideline. I'm wearing a Pavia jersey. Now, listen. Host Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco told Manziel that Alabama would be looking for revenge after last season's loss in Nashville. Here's what he said. This is Manziel. Bring it on is what them boys are saying. He said, the one thing I will say, I think in the past you walk in and face an Alabama team, you probably got a little fear. This is Bama, the team that's been a dynasty. You got a little fear. The fear aspect of what Alabama is completely gone. And nobody's scared of them boys. Not Vandy, not Kentucky, not nobody. Wow.
Gary, let me tell you something. Gary. That kid had that same mindset when he came into the NFL. And I made sure I was the first person to sack him for that same reason right there. So I'm going to make sure I wear my Cincinnati Bengals jersey on the sideline to intimidate him.
Yeah. You got him, Wallace. You gave him a welcome to the NFL moment, huh?
Absolutely, 100%. He remembered it too. People, I guess he had some kind of documentary that came out a couple months back, and I had everybody calling me and messaging me saying, "Hey, you were on Netflix." So I'm still waiting for them to send me my check. But yeah, definitely.
Andre, what do you think about him saying, "Hey, ain't nobody scared of them boys"?
Man, everybody wants cheerleader. You know, he wants to be over there and support those guys. He didn't even go to Vanderbilt. I don't even know why he's on the sideline. Like go to a Texas A&M game where he
thinks Pavia is a protege.
He wished Pavia is not as Johnny Manziel. I mean, he could think he is, but he's not by any means. He's
All right, guys, listen. We gotta get to a break. We got to get a break in. And we will break away for a few minutes, and we'll be back with more of Inside the Trenches right after this timeout.
The fall is a great time to come have a ball at the beach. This is Hunter Harrelson, owner of Beach Ball Properties, letting you know that we have dozens of great condos and houses waiting for you to come down and take advantage of reduced rates, less traffic, no waiting at restaurants, and the beautiful fall weather here in Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. Check us out at beachballproperties.com, on Facebook, or call us at 251-968-8896. If you have an investment property, I would love the opportunity to discuss how we can be the best owner-friendly deal on the coast. Come have a ball at the beach.
The Law Tigers is once again giving away a custom-built Crimson Tide motorcycle to one lucky fan. This one-of-a-kind bike is a tribute to your favorite team and was built by Area 51 Customs. Go to crimsontidebike.com now for your chance to win.
Labor Day has come and gone, but the best beach days are ahead of you on the Alabama Gulf Coast now through Thanksgiving. No one wants to work on vacation, so let iBeach Service do it for you. They'll set up your chairs, umbrellas, and canopies every morning and take them down every evening so you can soak up the calm, the sun, and the peace you deserve. For more information, you can call us at 251-504-0097 or visit us online at ibeachservice.com.
What's right? When buying her jewelry, what's right? There is an answer. That's what Fincher and Osmond is so good at. You just tell us what you see in her, why she's so special to you, what makes you wake up with her on your mind. What's right is at Fincher and Osmond today.
I'm Tom Osmond, your jeweler at Fincher and Osmond Jewelers. Not so easy to find on McFarland, between Edgar's and local routes.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Labor Day has come and gone, but the best beach days are ahead of you on the Alabama Gulf Coast now through Thanksgiving. No one wants to work on vacation, so let iBeach Service do it for you. They'll set up your chairs, umbrellas, and canopies every morning and take them down every evening so you can soak up the calm, the sun, and the peace you deserve. For more information, you can call us at 251-504-0097 or visit us online at ibeachservice.com.
Football is back. Join former Alabama standouts Wallace Gilberry and Andre Smith alongside Tiger insiders Rodney Orr and Gary Harris every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Central as Wallace and Andre take you inside their time in the Crimson and White and in the NFL. Come along as they give you an inside look into the Crimson Tide and more. Catch us Monday from 7 to 8 Central on Tide100.9.com and TiderInsider.com and all your social media platforms for Inside the Trenches.
Yeah, I'm from Big Bama. You're not the little one. We got smoke for anybody.
All right, 7:49. Welcome back into Inside the Trenches, starring Wallace Gilberry and Andre Smith, featuring Rodney Orr from TiderInsider.com. I'm your host, Gary Harris. And we got one segment left. We're going to let Wallace say something about some of the sponsors and how you can get involved in the program from an advertising standpoint in a few minutes. But right now, of course, Rodney has to hold his prediction till TITV tomorrow night. But let's get some predictions, guys, on this game. Wallace with Vanderbilt. I mean, they beat Alabama last year. It was the first time in 40 years that they had beaten the Crimson Tide. They took the goalposts. They paraded them down Broadway there in Nashville. I mean, they got every penny's worth of that win. And it was an embarrassing loss for Alabama at the time. There's no other way around it. And now it's a chance to get, I know coaches and players say it's never about revenge, but this is a chance to get some payback, Wallace. And certainly, you know, it's an important game anyway, but the fact that they beat you last year and kind of rubbed your nose in it a little bit, that's got to matter.
It has to matter, Gary. And honestly, to me, this is a set the record straight game. You know,
right.
I mean, it's okay. You know, teams are going to evolve. They're going to have, you know, again, every Saturday you have to show up and play. We all understand that. But again, this is Alabama we're talking about here. This is Vanderbilt we're talking about here. So at the end of the day, we have to put them in their place. And this is the year to do this.
So what's your score prediction, Wallace?
I'm going to keep it solid. I'm going to say Bama 28. Vandy 17.
Okay, that's a little more defensive minded than I thought you would say. Dre, what about you?
I'm gonna say Bama 40, Vanderbilt 30, 40 to 30.
Rodney, you got to hold your score prediction, but Wallace said 28-17. I think more people are going to be closer to Andre's score of 40 to 30 than 28-17. But what are your thoughts on the matchup?
Well, like I said earlier, I think the one key for Alabama is they're going to have to play ahead. You can't fall behind early because, they're going to score some points. I really believe Vanderbilt will score some points. So I think if you can stay ahead of Vanderbilt, you're in good shape. The way I look at it, stay 2 scores ahead, 10 points, whatever. I think that'd be the key for Alabama. And I feel really good about Alabama in this game.
Wallace, if Alabama's defense holds Vanderbilt to 17 with that quarterback and the way they've been scoring points, I hope you're right, because I would love to see Alabama's defense stand up against that offense, which kind of embarrassed them a little bit last year, and hold them to 17 points.
And that's why I say 17, because I'm going off of last year. I feel like I got embarrassed. I have to come out here and set the record straight. This is on me. So from a defensive guy, I'm going to do whatever it takes for them not to cross the 50. Like, that's the kind of mindset I'm going into this game with. They're not going to cross the 50-yard line. And I'm waiting on.
All right, let me ask you guys about
ball.
this. Pavia. Me too. Pavia he's a special player. He's tough. I mean, he has got a little bit of Manziel in him. The thing that's so frustrating, I think, about him is you can do everything right defensively. I mean, you can play the play right. Like we said, you can be in the rush lanes, and he can break you down. I mean, he can buy time. He can make something out of nothing. How frustrating is that for a defensive player when you can do everything right and he can still make a play on you,
It's
Wallace?
very frustrating, Gary. I mean, and I've played several guys. Omar Connor, going back to high school, at the Alabama Mississippi All-Star game. I'm sure Rodney remember Omar Connor from Mississippi State. He was one of the first elusive quarterbacks that I've ever faced. So it's a headache. It is. But again, you have to trust your pass rush lanes. You have to trust your defense. And I'm sure Bama's going to come with some kind of caveat. I mean, I would like to see Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. playing that spy role this week. Someone with some speed, with some agility that can keep up with him and within those pass rush lanes. So I'm excited to see how we come out and approach this game on the defensive side of the ball.
Rod, piggyback on that. I do like what Wallace said. One of the things he played if you're played on that defense last year and Pavia was able to do to you what he was able to do to Alabama, and they almost seemed helpless to stop him at times, including there at the end of the game, when if they get the ball back, I think they're going to win the game. They couldn't get it back. I mean, that's got to motivate you. And not only did he do all that, he told them about it. I mean, he was looking for guys after plays to get in their face and talk some smack to them. He doesn't back down from anything.
No, he really doesn't. He's got a lot of swagger, and I think that's why they've been successful. Really do. He's got a ton of swagger. He brings a lot of confidence, and it's kind of gone throughout the team. I will say this one thing, and that is he's a great player. He's going to make plays. The thing is you can't allow him to make play after play after play. Mm-hmm. You've got to be able to respond. You got to be able to adjust. You've got to play assignment football with this guy too, because they talk about the pass rush lanes. By the way, I thought they played the pass rush. They stayed in their lanes a lot better in this game against Georgia, because Gunnar Stockton, he's not Pavia, but he can still do some things with his legs. I thought other than maybe one time, they did really well. And hey, Wallace, I'll say this. Keep an eye on number 94 for Alabama, Edric Hill. I thought he played really well the other day. And I think he's coming on.
You spoke highly on him at the beginning of the season, Rodney. And so again, it's the time in the season for guys like that to start peaking. And you're right, he's turning it on.
You know what killed Alabama last year? And they did really well against Georgia last week. Of course, third down offense was incredible too. Third down defense last year against Vanderbilt, Dre killed Alabama. I mean, Pavia converted so many plays.
They were 12 of 18.
Fourth down too. Yeah. I mean, you got to get off the field when you have them, in especially third, medium, third, and long, right? I mean, you just can't let them convert those against you.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Another main thing is make sure we have some emotional maturity while going into the game. There's going to be tips and flows in the game. And those guys being able to respond after he makes a big play, not letting there linger until the next play, after the previous play is over with, you clap it out, and then go to the next play. I think these guys I've been seeing a lot more maturity from the team as a whole, as opposed to last year. We had guys who were acting out of emotion on the field, for these guys to be able to buy in through those adverse times, even against Florida State, just to see the trend going in the right direction. I think we're going to do some really good things come Saturday for sure.
Yeah, don't let Pavia bait you into penalties if you're Alabama's defense, because he will try to do that. He'll try to get you frustrated and get you to do something stupid, and they did it a few times last year. It cost them big time. All right, Wallace, we've got about a minute. You talk about sponsors and people want to get involved in the podcast, how that's going, and some of the people that are helping you get this thing off the ground.
Absolutely. I mean, the first three people, yourself, Rodney, and you, Andre, I appreciate you guys every week, man. It's getting better and better. The sponsors are calling every week, so we're doing something great. iBeach Rental here in Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, Alabama. Beach Ball Properties here in Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Alabama. Law Tigers throughout the United States. I mean, the sponsorships and the support are flowing in. And if you guys want to get in touch with us, it's Inside the Trenches, 9271 at gmail.com. We'd love to have you guys a part of our team. And we're actually, setting this thing up for next year to be even better inside and out. So we appreciate you guys' support. Even all you callers that call in tonight and throughout the show, we appreciate all you guys.
Absolutely. Inside the Trenches every Monday night at 7 p.m. Real quickly, are you guys going to be in Tuscaloosa for the game?
Absolutely. We got the pregame show, 9:30. We have the Legends autograph signing, Roosevelt Patterson, Kevin Lee, Deuce, Prothrow. Those guys will be on the quad signing autographs. So looking forward to seeing all you guys out here.
All right. Great job. All right. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside the Trenches. And we appreciate Wallace, Andre, and Rodney. And again, every Monday night, also, we'll have it out on social media here, links to the podcast. Spread the word. And you potential advertisers out there, Wallace told you how you can get in touch with him. We'd love for you to be a part of Inside the Trenches. Have a great Monday night, everybody. We'll talk to you again next week following the Vanderbilt game.
Again, giving away a custom-built Crimson Tide motorcycle to one lucky fan.